Hey, welcome back to Dogtography. Today we're talking about your winter photos with your dogs and why do they look gray or blue or really just kind of like lackluster and look kind of miserable. It's winter here in Canada. Snow photos are all the rage, but how can we get them looking their best? You're going to want to stay tuned to today's episode. Hi, I'm Andrea Fleury and welcome to Dogtography. My channel is all about how to take better images of your dog and how to create some really super fun memories. I walk you through different tips and tutorials and techniques. I sometimes show you behind the scenes of my professional career as a dog photographer, all while just trying to have some fun and enjoy time with our dogs. So one of the common things I hear when it's like snowy winter season and everything's kind of like got a good coating of snow on it is like, Andrea, can you please tell us what's going on with these photos and why do they look so like dull and boring or blue and, you know, just, I don't know, just kind of like off. Like there's just something about them that doesn't look right. Well, I can guarantee you, if you're saying that, you're probably taking your images in an automatic mode. So whether you're using your cell phone and you're just snapping some pics, or you're using your DSLR camera and it's set to auto, there's a reason why this is happening. Now, I could go on and on about the scientific, reasons of why a camera does it, but I'm gonna try and like make it simple. But it's interesting to understand the why behind it before we get into how to fix it. So what's happening when your camera is taking an image in an automatic setting is the light meter is metering your images all the time, and it is trying to expose them properly automatically, like on its own, without you having to set the settings, which is, great, I guess, if that's what you're going for. But when you're shooting a scene that is like all white, it doesn't know that it's taking a photo of something that's all white. And what the light meter is supposed to do when it's taking an automatic setting is it's trying to balance it against 18% gray. So if you take every color in the world and you mix it all together, it's gonna make some kind of a gray bleh. And that is exactly what the camera is trying to do, is it's trying to read all the colors in a scene and it's trying to turn the image into a proper exposure. So with white, it tends to make it look gray, or it tends to make it look kind of like blue. Like it just gets all confused essentially, and it doesn't know what it's reading or what you're wanting it to do. But that's not to mean that the photo is garbage. So don't think that it is. I have an editing thing that I'm gonna show you on my iPad with some images that have been sent to me from some of you, and we're gonna fix them, and I'll show you exactly what to do with this type of a error essentially when taking the photo. But what I would like to encourage you to do, if you have the skills or the desire or the equipment to do so, is to get that camera off of auto mode. So if you're going out and shooting photos in the winter, you're going to get a better exposure when you're in control of the settings yourself. Yes, you can do that with your cell phone. You just need like a photo app, a camera app that allows you to control settings, and you can definitely do it on your DSLR camera and control it that way. But if I have a tip for you at all when it comes to the actual capturing of the image, go with the overexposing side as opposed to making the image look darker and underexposed. It's very easy to blow out highlights in an image when they get really bright. What blowing out means is essentially they get so light that there's no detail left in the highlights of an image at all. With snow, I feel like you can kind of get away with that a little bit because you kind of expect it. You kind of expect it to look bright and white and blown out essentially. But on the other hand, you don't expect snow to look gray and dull and dark. So I would kind of gravitate away from that. And you can do that just by adjusting that little sun slider on your image. But again, I'm going to encourage you to try fixing them in post editing. So I'm going to show you that now on my iPad. So to start, we're gonna take this photo here of Coda. Now, this definitely looks really dark to me. It's also very blue. So we're gonna try and fix both of those things. Anytime I look at like a snowy scene and I'm seeing that it looks blue, that is the first thing that I'm gonna try and fix, because I feel like if I can get the overall color of the image as a whole looking better, like proper, then I think the rest of the little tiny tweaks are gonna make sense, like based off of that. So what's happening here when you're seeing the snow look blue is the temperature of the photo is just on the cooler side. So when you're taking an automatic exposure and the color temperature is off, that references the white balance of the photo. So white balance is essentially asking you what color light is coming into the camera. When you have it set to auto, whether that's auto just on your phone because it's auto doing everything, or auto set on your camera, like when I go on a professional shoot, I have my white balance set to auto. So that means that the camera is just figuring it out for itself, or you can set it for cloudy skies, bright sun, tungsten light, whatever. I just set it on auto because I'm probably gonna change it when I edit my photos later anyway, so I don't get too worked up about it, which is why I'm saying to you, if you notice that your photos are blue, don't delete them because you can fix it. And I'm gonna show you how, both in Lightroom here, which is what I use on my iPad, and I can also show you on my phone, just like right after you take the picture in the camera app that's native to your phone, you can probably change it there too. So here I'm working in Lightroom. I'm gonna go to the right-hand side here and choose these sliders, and I'm gonna come down to color. So right now you can see that the white balance, or the WB, is set to custom because we're going to change it. So if I take this temperature slider here and I slide it to the cooler side, you can see that it's making it like way more blue. As I start to slide it towards the yellow side, and I'm gonna get past 0 here, which is where it was. So now it's starting to get a lot warmer. Now it's starting to get a lot warmer. If I keep going, you'll see that it gets like really yellow. So a tip I have for adjusting white balance, because it's just so finicky if you're wanting to do it yourself, is take it to where it looks way too warm, which it obviously does right now because everything looks yellow, including the sky, and then just start backing it off. Just back it off, and your eyes will adjust and they'll go, okay, I mean, that's not so bad there. There, you can see it's too blue there, and there it's starting to look a little better. So the image in general is still a little bit dark. We're gonna come back and fix that, but there's that way of doing it. If you would rather more of a automatic way of fixing the white balance, which is what got us into this problem in the first place, you can select this little eyedropper tool, and that will allow you to slide the circle around the screen, and you can kind of put the bullseye point on what you believe should be white. And you can see as I drag it around, it's adjusting the white balance for us, and it's just kind of picking, like the computer is picking what it thinks should be right. And I'm gonna leave it there. So that to me looks good. I like that. Okay, so now because the image still looks a little bit kind of dark, I'm gonna go into the light drop-down menu here. And I believe that this is a cell phone image, so you can't really go crazy on the edits that you do on a cell phone image, but I'm gonna lift the shadows. You gotta be careful lifting shadows because it can start to look kind of washed out. So I'm gonna stop about there. I'm gonna pull up the highlights. Let's just see what happens. So it's lifting some of the brightness. I'm just gonna try the overall image here. Oh, I'm liking that better. But you can see now it's starting to lose contrast. So I'm gonna bring some of the shadows back into it. Okay, so if I tap and hold my finger on the screen, it's gonna show you the before and now the after. Before, oh my God, it's so blue and dark. After, much later, much brighter. You can still see it's an overcast day because there's clouds in the sky, but isn't that looking better before, after? Love it. So we totally got rid of all the blue, and it's much warmer. The dog, I've met Coda before. He's a red husky, so he wants to have some warmth in his fur and in the brown trees behind him, but not so much like all that like darkness in the sky and darkness in the snow around him. This is looking really good. I like it. Okay, let's do another one. Okay, Now this image here of Echo and Crumb was taken on a DSLR, and this is a RAW photo. So what that means, and I'm gonna do a whole episode about what RAW photos are and why we should all be taking them. But what a RAW image is it means that it hasn't applied a pre-color effect to it. So any JPEG image has pre-color assigned to that image from the camera itself. So this is a RAW image, which means that it has none of that. So this is meant to look kind of blah. But as you can see, it is blue. Like, it is like so blue. So we're going to fix that. Again, this is not the photographer's fault necessarily. Like, yes, maybe the white balance could have been tweaked in camera, but this is nothing to get upset about. This is all totally fixable. So again, I'm gonna come down here to color, and I'm gonna try altering this temperature. Come on, like, look. It just kills me. It's like, look at what that did just for going from that to that. Like, it takes it from like this, like, well, blue cold, like, I love this picture, by the way, it's just crazy good. But to this, so I mean, that automatically looks so much better. The only other thing I'm just gonna see if we can do here is tweak these highlights just a little bit. Because of the way the sun is kind of spilling onto the snow, I'm just gonna kind of bring these down because there's got some like lighter bits in the front and in the back. I just wanna see if that is kind of doing anything for it. And then I'm just gonna lift the exposure. Now, I'm not doing an edit, by the way, as in the whole photo, and I'm editing it for like social media posting right now. I'm just showing you how to fix the blueness and the like lackluster kind of issues that we have with snowy images. So I'm liking that. Okay, so we've taken the highlights down a little bit, and I'm gonna lift the shadows up. And remember, these sliders is affecting the whole image, so everything that's in the picture. So when you're adjusting the shadows, it is lightening the shadows on the entire picture. I'm trying to bring a little bit more into the dogs, or a little less shadow on the dogs, but now I'm gonna try lifting the exposure on the whole image. That again has washed the dogs out just a tiny bit, so I'm gonna lower these shadows down to there, and good, I think that looks good. Before, after, before, I mean, that's so satisfying. I could do this all day long. Before, after, before, after. All right, let's do another photo. I don't know what dog this is because this was sent to me from one of my clients, and I think she was photographing one of her clients or one of her friend's dogs. So I don't know the name of this dog, but super cute. I love the snow on his forehead. Okay, let's get into this color. So immediately I look at this picture, all I can see is blue. That is a black dog that looks blue. So that's how you know, like, you're looking for things in the scene that your eyes know are supposed to be a certain color that are looking off. So if you're like, how do you know that that's blue? Like, it's a black dog, it's supposed to look blue. If you're not sure, come over here into your temperature settings for your white balance and just, you know, try adding a little bit of warmth and see what happens. So right now I'm looking at the dog and I'm going, okay, like, he should look black, and he shouldn't look like this. He shouldn't look like he's going orange either. So you want to back off the temperature to where your eyes, and you're just gonna have to start trusting your eyeballs, tell you that that snow looks white and not blue or yellow. I'm gonna go with there is what I'm guessing. Sometimes, if I'm not quite sure myself, I will take the little eyedropper and I will just start moving this around just to see what the eyedropper says. Now, okay, if you get a warning message like this that comes up that says cannot, what does it say? Cannot set the white balance here, please click on a darker or neutral area. That usually means, from my experience, that you're putting the eyedropper on a part of the photo that is blown out. And what does blown out mean? It means it has no detail in it. So the little eyedropper guy is looking at a part of the image that has no detail. So even the eyedropper is still looking for like shades of gray or whatever that it can use to expose the image off of. I'm gonna leave it on that for now for the temperature, and I'm gonna start playing around with some of these other settings just to see what I can kind of pull out of this image. Okay, I'm going into the light settings. I'm gonna bring the highlights down. I'm gonna bring these blacks down. Okay, so by bringing the shadows down, like this poor black dog has like, now this, okay, this is the bitch about photographing a black dog in a white scene. You have two opposite colors, if you will, competing with each other in this photo. Your camera is going crazy right now inside. It's like, I don't know what to do. Like, is it white? Is it black? Is it gray? Is it what? Like, it doesn't know. So it doesn't surprise me in the least. Let's just do it before and after. Before, after. This poor black dog is like so washed out. Again, the camera is doing the exact same thing to the black as it's doing to the white. It's making it more gray. So immediately when I saw this image too, I'm like, this black dog is like looking very light in color, like gray, and it shouldn't. It should look black, and the snow should look white. And yeah, I'm not surprised that auto mode on a camera is having a really hard time with that. Now, this is looking a little bit better. I mean, is it 100% perfect? No, but I could probably sit here all day and tinker with it, but it's looking a heck of a lot better than it was. Let's do one more. Okay, we're gonna take this image here of Echo by the water. Super cute picture, I love it. Okay, instantly blue. You can see that now, right? You can just see it by looking at it that it looks blue. So I'm gonna crank it. Okay, I know that's way too yellow. Now I'm just gonna start to back it off a little bit. Maybe a little bit more. See, blueness in a winter scene doesn't bother me a lot because winter's cold. Like, we associate blue with cold, ice, all that kind of stuff. This picture behind me on the wall, Asher on the log, snowy scene, I wanted to take it where the sky was like moody and blue. So I like that in a winter scene, but the whole image itself should not have like a blue cast over the whole thing. So immediately that is looking better. That is the before, that is the after. And I'm not so sure that there's a lot else I would do with this picture. You can go into the light and you can try lifting a little bit of the shadows. I think what I might do first here is lift the exposure just a little bit. I'm gonna bring the shadows down and the highlights down. And to me, that's looking pretty good before and after. So there you have it. I hope that you've now learned how you can rescue some of your crazy winter photos that didn't turn out quite so right. Either on your tablet or device using Lightroom, or on your phone using the native camera app that it comes with. Again, white balance is usually my go-to first to check. Is it blue? Is it looking kind of blah? Try raising or decreasing the temperature first. And then you're gonna progress into just kind of taking the highlights down a little bit if certain areas are looking too bright, and adjusting the shadows to help give you some contrast in that image. I hope that today helps solve some of your winter blues. No pun intended. All right, go take some photos with your dog and enjoy making some memories. And I'll see you next Saturday. Bye for now.